Ayaw ko ito. Patanggal mo to. I don't like this one. Yes. Salamat po. Colleagues in the government, mga kababayan, good morning. I returned today from a productive official visit to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. My trip to Hanoi was another step forward in further solidifying the valuable ties between our nations and peoples. In my meeting with President Chan Day-Kwan, we committed to ramp up bilateral exchanges to boost our strategic partnership. We agreed to increase exchanges between our officials and peoples and establish a six-year action plan starting 2017 for the implementation of activities in the areas of common interest. We have also agreed to increase the volume and achieve a more balanced trade and investment. We will enhance the investment environment to make it more conducive for businesses in both countries to flourish. Aside from identifying new avenues of defense cooperation, we further agreed to strengthen existing maritime cooperation mechanisms. We will adopt measures to ensure the safety and security of fishermen from both countries. We will explore ways to intensify law enforcement cooperation against transnational crime, including the illegal drugs trade. We recognize that sustained economic growth and development rides on the back of a stable and secure environment. We reaffirm the commitment to maintaining and promoting peace, security, stability, safety, and freedom of navigation and overflight, as well as unimpeded commerce in the region, particularly in the South China Sea. We called for a peaceful resolution of disputes, including full respect for legal and diplomatic processes, self-restraint in the conduct of activities without resorting to a threat or use of force, in accordance with the universally recognized principles of international law under the 1982 UNCLOS. We are nations for peace. We will continue to be so. A peaceful region is what we owe as a legacy to our succeeding generations. We agreed to support each other in other aspects of leadership roles in the 2017 as the chairs of ASEAN and APEC respectively, and to reciprocate the warm hospitality of each of the countries. I met with several leaders from both Philippines and Vietnam companies and encouraged mutually beneficial investments in the country. My official visit to Vietnam demonstrated our adherence to an independent foreign policy which seeks cooperation and collaboration with friendly nations on the basis of sovereign equality, non-interference, and the mutual respect to protect our national interests. On a personal note, I was deeply honored to have been welcomed warmly by the Filipino community in Vietnam. They are our hard-working kababayans who continue to contribute to the social economic development of their host nation and our own country. I informed them of developments in our country, and I assure them, as I have assured you, that I will be faithful to the mandate you have reposed in me as your president. Daghang salamat. But, somebody, he's a billionaire, and made some mental computation while we were chatting. They were drinking, hindi man ako makainom. So, but during this, about to, yung bago ka matulog, we were in the, I was given the presidential suite sa maraming upuan. A billionaire made a computation. So, Mayor, I'll give you the economic impact of drugs in the country. Your country. He said, this is the way how it goes. There are, at least he said, you claim to be 3 million drug users and addicts. One hit daily costs around 200 or about 6,000 a month. If these users and addicts use drugs on a daily basis, that's about 18 billion a month, or around 216 billion a year. Otherwise, his money would go to food, education, health. And what was the cold reality? And I was not able to sleep soundly that night. Even I was stressed. Why the figures? Because the mining industry gives us about 70 billion only. And here is a cost of 16 billion. Destroying lives, it's an investment to destroy lives. It's an investment by the drug lords that will break the social fabric of our society. Alam mo, pag may addict sa pamilya, pag mayroon na magnakaw ng mga bagay-bagay, ng mga ipagbili na yung mga kotse kung saan-saan, and pag wala na, they go into crime. And that is why, nationwide, ang crime went on a spin down. We're going doon, almost 50% in the entire country. Wala na masyadong patayan. And here is a nation which its ordinary government employees are talking as if they're gods, and to later on to be orchestrated or followed by their head. Instead of coming over, knowing fully well, it could have not escaped their attention that I entered into the presidency of a budget that was prepared by my predecessor. And that budget is in operation now. No other source. The budget for next year is being prepared. And now we have placed funds for building rehabilitations in the military camps, as I have requested the armed forces of the Philippines to weigh in into the problem. It's so exasperating, Rita. Knowing that, I said it could not have escaped their attention. They are running a government also. Yes. Instead of saying, instead of Duterte, instead of killing them, why don't you build several? Well, I get funds from the Office of the Foreign Affairs, get it from Ivasco, the Secretary of the Government? Get it from the funds, the intelligence fund of the Armed Forces of the Philippines? Or Secretary Aguirre? The newest enemy of my friend. So, it's not allowed. That would be like robbing Peter to pay Paul. And this is the tragic thing about miscalculation. Whether it is in business, whether a computing household, you have always to calculate correctly. That is why there is calculus. And it's the greatest need for a calculus is even in the military. The danger is always miscalculation. I don't know if those guys there have the pea-brained to think about calculations. It's only good to criticize. That's it. What's up? But in public, there is the United Nations. You can always deliver your speech there. Ask the Commission on Human Rights or voting, then go send some rapporteur. And I was investigated during my mayorship days already. And there is the result. And also, my lady, in all these years, not a single case was filed against me. It's all talk until now. Now, the question is, it was quoted by the EU, by this, I said, the pea-brained lawyers there, that this official, even when he was mayor, he was threatening to kill the criminals. What an idiot group of idiots in the purest form. You know, when you want to charge me, you have to find out if the penal laws of this land would make a mayor liable if he threatens the criminals or intimidate the wrongdoers. You can read the penal codes, criminal laws of this land, you'd find nothing. And to say that this mayor has been threatening to kill criminals, kaya kung ikaw nandito, bakit hindi ka magmumura? You are portrayed or pictured to be a cousin of Hitler, and yet do not even bother to find out, to investigate if that. To imagine that I will be facing and even the International Court for Genocide. Hindi pa naman kabalbagan ang mga... Ikaw daw, presidente ka tapos ganunin ka. It was of course all right when I was mayor. Because then, that would be about just the minuscule of the affairs of the humanity in this planet. But when I am the president, and the tyrants get, bitter and stupid, you put all the Filipinos, especially outside, you put them to shame. Okay lang sa akin, sanay ako sa politika eh. Lahat ng kababuyan dumating na sa aking buhay. Pero itong mga ganito, ako, look, kayong US, EU, you can call me anything. But I was never into, or I am never into hypocrisy like you. Close your doors, it's winter time, there are migrants escaping from the Middle East. You allow them to rot, and then you're worried about the death of about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now, there's a 3 million drug addicts. There are. I'd be happy to slaughter them. At least, if Germany had Hitler, the Philippines would have. But, my victims, I would like to be all criminals to finish the problem of my country and save the next generation from perdition. Salamat po.
The first question is from the Philippine Star, Edith Regalado.
Junior will start.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
First question po, sir. The lawyer of J.B. Sebastian said earlier, or yesterday and this morning, that he would only talk to you and not to anyone else, not in Congress, not to any other forum, but it would be something like doubly explosive, but it has to be with you. Would you agree to that term, or would you?
I do not talk to criminals.
Okay.
You can go to the fiscal if he wants. Or maybe write a letter to Secretary Yasay if that is a feasible. What? He has a problem now?
Yeah, the lawyer said that he...
Sinasabi ko, hiningi ninyo lahat yan eh. Been telling everybody, in drugs na yan, hinihingi ninyo sa buhay ninyo, dadating yan. I said, be careful of what you wish for or what you want, because you might get it. Dreaming of money, living in filth of the wallow with several at the expense of your fellow human beings, it will come. There's always the comeuppance and the law of karma. I assure you, that is a very valid, universal statement.
Sir, you mentioned earlier that in your visit to Vietnam, the WPS, the West Philippine Sea issue was also discussed.
Yes.
Could we, I don't know if it's possible, but even further details po, kung pwede? Further details in your talk with the Prime Minister?
No, some of them are not for public use. Because I talked to several set of officers, the ruling chairman of the party, it's party first, then the government. I talked to the president and to the prime minister.
Yes,
Some are, points is that what I've said. It's a general, it has been repeated several times already. But if you want to know about what happened, what transpired in our talks, I'm sorry, I cannot divulge it all because I do not have the authority from them. And besides, put it in a correct perspective, serving the nation's respective interests.
thank you, sir.
Joy Gumatay of PTV4.
Good morning, sir.
Buntag, ma'am.
We believe in your advocacy, sir, that you want to promote not just drug-free Philippines, but drug-free ASEAN community. Therefore, I would like to ask, sir, what's the response or promised commitment of Vietnam with this particular advocacy, sir?
Sila yung una nga eh. So I was just figuring out how to get rid of this 3 million. They are so strict about it, and do not mess up with these guys. They have been at war for so many generations. They will not hesitate to finish you off.
So are there any promised commitment when it comes to actions?
Yes, they will share intelligence data from. I would like to talk to the. I'll be sending some military and police sort of an envoy for a specific purpose. They have agreed. It should be a concern not only for the two nations but for the entire region. Salamat po.
Last two questions, and one would be from Cedric Castillo of GMA7.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Mr. President. Sir, just to be categorical about it, sir, when you said na we are about to see the last of the joint military exercises between us and U.S.,
Yes.
did you mean
Yes.
this year?
In my term, yes. I don't know if that treaty would take some form, but in my term, yes.
Sir, just to follow up, sir.
I am not. I would not be using my, entitlements as commander-in-chief. I would simply say that is the foreign policy. I do not want to tire. There is a joint, and you can ask the military. They ask for a joint maneuvers operations. And yet, there is no capability between the weapons and the armaments they use, and even in the communication. Walang capability yan. It's all soiled and soiled clothes. Well, they do not share. And I said, sabi nila, bugok raw ako kasi hindi ko alam that the jets were made in Korea. Correct, but that was outsourcing. Kanina rin yan. Magbili ka ng rubber shoes doon, it's made in China. But the owner of the trademark, you cannot buy the planes there without the blessings of. And mayroon tayo, bumili nga ang tatlo. Sabi ko nga noon, huwag kayong magalit. The armed forces, do not be disappointed. Because may aeroplano tayo, hindi naman tayo pinagbibilihan ng. Don't allow us to buy the missiles. So, what would be the point of ceremonial? Good. I agree. We should have two. Okay na yan sa akin. Para ceremonial. For ceremony only. Yung prangka-prangkahan tayo dito. Walang, I said, I do not want to be hypocrite. You can call me, but I do not want to be a pretentious leader. Yung Diyos natin, wala yan. And A-50, it's what's made in Korea. I said it was owned by them. What is have the capability to make it? Transfer of technology. That's what I meant. Be careful with your hearing. You might get it wrong. So, we are a simple, we are a humble country. We are a very simple people. We would operate our government in a very simple manner. I ask everybody in this government to cooperate. I do not want to go into a massive purge of government workers and officials. Please do not tempt me to do it because sinabi ko, ayaw ko ng graft and corruption. Especially money that's intended, yung mga, well, I'm not attributing it to anybody, to the poor, to the farmers, na hindi mag-abot. O down the line, yung mga loans nila, minus dyan sa nag-facilitate, they get nothing at the end, the bottom. Skip that. I will really skin you alive. I'm warning those in government. I promise the people a clean government. Huwag ninyong akong hiyain. karamihan yan regulatory boards and agencies. LFTRB, well, of course, with the advent new leaders there. But kayong, I have nothing, that's why I choose Gerald Galvante. Why? Because I had an occasion to work with him here. He was the RD for some time. And Attorney Delgra, also a worthy son of a worthy father. Lahat yung mga regulatory, and medicines and all, do not commit the mistake. I will read your name in public and will ask you to resign. Pag ayaw mo mag-resign, ibulong kita doon sa mga adik na, yun ang nag-squill sa iyo. Okay, good. Do not force me to place you in a very uncomfortable and awkward position. Listen to me now. Wala kang eskapo. My mandate is for 6 years. In the fullness of God's time, if He'll make me alive, and you're a corrupt, kaya mo na dumaan na yun. Those were the days when everybody was on the take, everybody would, nandyan sa custom, may bagong tao dyan. BIR, may bagong tao dyan. Lahat. Now, you used to earn how much? Millions? But okay, this time, just keep safe. And if that is not enough, if there's a salary that will be forced to, go to the office and you earn only that much, okay, you resign. Total, meron, you've had your fill all these years. Kayong nasa, alam mo na, BIR, tapos yung customs noon, you've had your fill. Tama na yun. Yung importation na sa bigas, kota-kota. I've lost along the way several friends now. Do not, huwag kang pumunta sa akin and start to defense. I leave it to Secretary Lorenzana. I am not a technical man. Do not come to me to make a whisper on them. And besides, Lorenzana would not follow me if I give him a wrong order. Huwag kayong pumunta sa I've lost 2. Ayaw na nila akong pati. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. If I lose a friend, I lose you, fine. This is not my property. This is not my hacienda. Lahat. Police, military, civilian employees. Wala masyadong problema. Not because you're here, but you do not go out of the camp unless you are ordered by the camp commander to go out. But the police, they go out every day reporting for duties. And I know that the salary is really terribly, terribly low. That's why I am insisting that by next year, yung dublado na sweldo ng military pati police tapos na. I cannot operate a government with a corrupt police. I cannot run a government with a corrupt bureaucracy. I do not want to fail on a promise. One of the things that we discussed in the transact business is, would there be corruption and all of these things, because we have been known for that? I said, no. I assure you, do not even give me the name of the complainant. Just let me know, and I will take him out. Pinag-usapan na matagal. Doing business. There are also newfound billionaires there interested in coming. But they have heard so much about corruption in the Philippines, how hard it is to get the papers. Each department now, nothing of the past 4 years, NEDA, and even yung sa train and apply namin, until now, it's pending there. Wala naman kayong technical. Mabuti na. Ito bago. I am talking of the past tense. Good as another time to discuss corruption. Baski na umaga na. Wala naman kayong technical. There's no technical office in that NEDA. So, there's really nothing to compute. So why would it take you years? All departments, 1 month. Down the line, local governments, issuance of licenses, permits, police clearance, fiscal, court, 3 days. 3 days that yan, down the line, from the office of the president down to the barangay. 3 days. After 3 days, labas mo. Denied? What for? Why? Kung nandyan, release ninyo. Now, I'm addressing myself to the people of the Philippines. If you experience any event or incident in the fashion that I'm setting the rules now, let me know. Let me know. You go to your sa mga pari ninyo. You do not give me your name if you're afraid. Just give me the SOB. Wala na yung hindi na kasi alam mo yung tao, you're not even milking government. Actually, at the end of the day, you're milking the Filipino people. Please. Lahat ng mga criminal, I'm telling you now, drugs, stop it, or I will really kill you. Siguro, magka-problema ka man, huwag kang pumunta sa akin. You ask for it, if you want, you bring your secret to your grave. I think it's about is there any question? Yeah.
Last question from Ruth Dumandan of RGMA.
Hi, Mayor. On the death of Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, we just want to hear your message, and if you could share with us a little, how do you remember the senator?
First, I would like to express my deepest condolences. I grieve with the family, with Narciso, the husband. Si Benji used to be a general of the armed forces of the Philippines. And to the children, I share your grief, and if I'd be back on time, I'd like to visit the wake. We have lost a leader. The colorful language also of, and above all, yung utak niya. We have lost one good guy in our government. Nana, is there? Come na. Breakfast na lang tayo sa baba pagkatapos. Ayan. Fair is fair. I'll give everyone space. Bakit may whisper mo yung tanong mo? You use the...
Good morning, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Mr. President, what is your reaction on the remarks of these two U.S. senators on the alleged extrajudicial killings in the Philippines, noting that there is a wrong way of dealing the law enforcement, due process, and
Who
the
said
rule
it?
of law. U.S. Senators Benjamin Cardin and U.S. Patrick Leahy.
Do not interfere in our affairs. I will ask him now, why are you shooting the black people there when you're on the ground? Sila pwede, tapos na hindi. Sabi ko, hypocrisy. There's a proper way of arresting a black man there. You arrest him, you grapple with him, pin him to the ground, place him under handcuff, and bring him to the station. Do not shoot him with the video and the cameras all around. So I'm returning the courtesy. Sanay kayo ng ganun eh. You criticize people outside of your Congress. Crazy. So, they went to Iraq, the United States of America. President ordered the armed forces of the United States to enter Iraq on a flimsy excuse that there is a weapon of mass destruction, joined by the British government and people. What did he find? Nothing. What happened? They killed Saddam. Now Iraq is a fractured country. They undermined Libya. They killed Gaddafi. Libya is now a destroyed nation. They wanted Assad out, but Assad was being supported by China and Russia. So until now, they're slaughtering civilians. Who gets the honor? I said, let us. I would like to appeal, and answering the two senators, I'd like to the government of the United States, stop this hypocrisy game, and we're all right. Stop being hypocrites. Do not pretend to be the moral conscience of the world. Do not be the policeman because you do not have the eligibility to do that in my country. I'm just a small, but I'm growing. Everybody wants to have picture with me because they say, you're the only one who can bullshit them. Of course I will. Thank you.